PodJerky, bringing you an audio experience the likes of which you've never heard before.
PodJerky.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of PodJerky. I am your host, Director Awesome, joined once again with my lovely wife, Mrs.
Hi,
Awesome.
everybody.
Today's episode, we're going to do kind of an abbreviated episode. We're going to talk about something that you had purchased me for my birthday. It's called the Adventure Challenge. Now, why don't you tell everybody how you heard about this? Because before this, I had never heard about any of this.
And this isn't an ad, but
no, not an ad at all. No.
If they hear this, and
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
we're okay with that too.
Yeah, how did you hear about this before purchasing it?
I kept seeing it on Facebook and Instagram, so it was an ad that kept popping up, and I'm like, oh, this kind of looks fun and in an interesting way, and I was like, we're always trying to think of fun new things to do, and date nights through COVID were basically board games and cards, and because we weren't allowed to leave the house. And so I thought maybe this will give us some new ideas for date night that potentially we could do. They wouldn't take a ton of time, potentially wouldn't cost us a ton of money, but might be a little more creative than you and I could get.
Yeah. And we got what's called the Adventure Challenge Couples Edition. And there are a whole bunch of them that I've seen online. So there's like family edition. There is a solo edition for females. There is a in the bedroom edition. There are kids editions. So there's a whole bunch of them. And for those of you that don't know what it is, it's basically a scratch off book. And each section has its own title and things to do. So at the beginning of the book, it's going to give you a legend with all of these photos. So it'll show like a tree, which means you'll be outside. It'll show a car, which means you have to go somewhere. It'll show a picture of like a baby in a diaper, which means you'll need a babysitter for this challenge. It'll show like dollar signs. That means a little bit more expensive. It'll show a house, which means indoor or outdoor. So there's a whole legend with a whole bunch of stuff that shows you exactly what that challenge is going to do. So on each one, you'll see the challenge. So I'm going to show a picture here for those that are watching on the video. I'll show a picture of kind of what it looks like. If you're not watching on video and you're listening to it through audio, sorry about that. You're not going to be able to see the picture right now. But what you do is you scratch this off, and it gives you your instructions of what you have to do. Now, the rule of the game is you have to complete that challenge within, I believe it's 48 hours. You have 48 hours to complete.
Once you scratch it, you have to do it.
Right. So we've gone through the book, and you do not have to do them in order. Just at the end of the book, there are two called the finale. There are two: finale part 1, finale part 2. Apparently, you're not supposed to complete those until you're finished the rest of the challenges. Now, there are some challenges that are free. Some challenge will cost you between $1 and $5. Some will cost you between $5 and $10, and some will cost you upwards of $50. They're just basing that on, I think, like a restaurant. Take your spouse out to a restaurant and have a meal.
So probably American too.
Yeah, and it's probably American because we can't really eat for two people for $50 here unless you're going to like a big fast food chain.
I'm not even sure you could eat at McDonald's that cheap anymore.
Right. So this is basically what you have to do in order to get these challenges, and then you go from there. So we started with our first one, and our first one was called Foreign Doppelganger. So we had no idea what that meant. We were like, okay, let's scratch it off. Let's see what we have to do. Now, the Foreign Doppelganger one, I'm going to show this to, again, whoever's on video, show you the actual scratch off so that you can see what the rules are.
Spoiler alerts if you haven't done it and you have the book or you want to do it, there are spoilers in here. It's only
Yes.
3, so
Yeah.
the rest of the book will be a mystery. Plus, if you watch all the ads on their Instagram pages, you'll kind of get the gist of what's
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So right now I'm just going to show a quick picture of what the scratch off looks like so you can see what the rules of the game were. And that's what the rule is. And you basically have to create a comic strip of each other while, not looking at each other's drawings. And you create this comic strip of your life together as a couple.
Yeah.
So we sat down on the couch and we're like, oh, like, God, how are we?
But we also had to do all of the subtitles or any script in it in Chinese.
That's
lettering.
correct. That's correct. And we kind of turned that around a little bit and said, you know what? This is really, really hard for somebody that doesn't know the language. Yeah. You looked it up on Google Translate and you're like, I'm not good at drawing. I can't copy these symbols myself right now. So this is going to take me, 6 hours to do if we end up doing this. And we didn't have 6 hours at the time to complete this challenge. So
we didn't.
We just said,
language.
Okay,
we didn't also want to slaughter the language by our terrible interpretation with click and go pencils.
Exactly. So I'm going to show everybody that's watching on video right now what the comic strip actually looked like. So here's that comic strip.
And then for those of you that want to see it, I guess we can throw it up on your Instagram.
I can throw it up on the Instagram. I can also throw it up. You can also go to our YouTube channel and check us out on YouTube.
Yeah, there too.
But what basically for those who are just listening and not able to see it, what we had to do is create this comic strip for our life together. And we kind of both had the same idea. Our first one was
a bit of a darker twist than mine did.
It did a little bit. So my comic strip kind of went. You divided it into, I think, 6 quadrants or 6 boxes or 8 boxes, not quadrants, 6 or 8 boxes. And the first one was, the proposal, I guess. And I had a kind of a funny kind of a comic there where we were at the beach. I proposed on the beach and I said, will you marry me? And her speech bubble said, where's my bike? Now everyone that's listening doesn't know what the story is. When we went down to the beach that day, when I did propose,
it was by my birthday.
Right. Of course, you had no idea that I was proposing.
None.
And you thought I was getting you a bike and you were trying to look for where the bike would be. Like, is the bike up against the fence? Is like, how is he going to get a bike down here? You thought you were getting a bike for your birthday.
I totally thought I was getting a bike.
So that was my first box. Your first box was, I believe, was the online. Was it the online thing?
Yeah, how we met, right?
How we met, dating. Right. And then it goes through our relationship. So it's, we got some dogs. We got some dogs. And then mine took the darker twist where I was in the hospital.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it was basically the same thing, kind of true love, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So we did end up posting this.
Way to brush over that. Yeah. Like that true love stuff.
No, I'm just I'm just explaining the comic. It's, people got to see it already.
It's
people
so romantic,
are listening.
guys.
So
you can hardly contain it.
So I did post it on Instagram as a post. And the adventure challenge actually responded and, they liked the photo and they made a comment on it. So that was pretty cool. So that was the first challenge, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The second one was actually kind of.
We've done 4.
Have we done 4?
You missed one.
Did I? What was the first one?
The first one was love language.
What was love language? I forget that one.
Oh, Lord, of course. The first one, we did it because it was like, it would only take an hour. You could do it inside. It was completely free. We just kind of wanted to see what the challenges were like. And essentially we had to take the love language quiz. And then tell each other based on what our love language answer was, what your partner could do for you that would speak to your love language.
Right. Yes. I forgot about that one. Cause that was like a basic one. That was just like a very quick one.
Yeah.
The questionnaire, the questionnaire that was like, maybe 2 minutes long that you had to take, like you went on very quickly. It gave you this reading that said what kind of person you are, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And
I was
then
actually surprised at my answer.
Yeah.
So apparently mine was acts of service. And so was yours, which I thought, quality time.
Quality time. Yes.
Was both of ours. and then acts of service, I think, was number 2, which was surprising to me because I would have thought words of affirmation would have been up there for me, but it wasn't, which was surprising.
Yeah. So I totally forgot about that one. But we did go into
so terrible.
The Foreign Doppelganger.
To be the one that we're supposed to use that like helps us understand our partner better.
I know, but we understand each other pretty well. So I'm not saying that I'm brushing over it. It totally slipped my mind that was the first one we did. I thought about it. I did forget about it. It's okay. Terrible. We're allowed to forget.
Look at that quality time we spent together.
We spend a lot of quality time together. We like to watch TV together on the couch. We spend it in the hot tub. We do a lot together. So
it's just ironic. That's all I'm saying.
The actually next one was actually a really fun challenge. And my gosh, it was called the Helpless Baker. Now, what the Helpless Baker is, I'm going to pop up a quick picture online for you guys to see right now for the ones that are watching video. And so here's that picture that now. And for those of you that are listening on audio right now, the Helpless Baker is one partner. You do a rock, paper, scissors. Whoever wins that challenge basically gets to be blindfolded. If you're blindfolded, the other partner that's with you basically can only use their hands. You're allowed to use 3 sentences the entire time that you're baking, and you're doing the baking blindfolded. So they have to guide your hands into the oil and the eggs and the flour and, all the ingredients that go into baking whatever you're baking. So they want you to bake a cake or a loaf or whatever it is. We chose a loaf to bake. And
easy.
No. And I got to be blindfolded, and we did that pretty well together. It didn't make too much of a mess.
Come on. No, surprisingly, it wasn't as messy. The salt was a bit of a disaster. Yeah. So for those of you who are superstitious, we spilt a lot of salt.
Yeah.
The funny part for me was like how stiff you were. It's like you had a hard time letting me guide you.
Yes.
Like it was actually comical. I was like, okay, like loosen up your arm, loosen up your wrist. Like my whole point was for me to be able to help you scoop the flour or scoop the sugar.
Yeah,
and
but
because you're such an independent person, you had a really tough time.
I did.
Letting control.
My whole thing was I didn't want to spill it. So that's why I was trying not to then you have to trust that
I'm not gonna let you spill it.
I do. I did trust
that. Hold on.
I did trust that you weren't going to spill it, but I also know how I am. I'm also, have vision impairment in one eye. Yeah. So
you're blindfolded. It wouldn't matter.
Yeah. So, I mean, doing things differently that way when you're blindfolded, it's a whole nother thing, right? Like you're not used to it. So you're trying to be
supposed to trust me.
You're supposed to
guide you.
I understand that, but you are guarded when you're in an element that you're not used to. So that's why I was that way. So anyway, we got a little bit off track there, but
but that's the whole point of this. Like, let's be honest. The whole point of this book is one, to do fun things together, but also a non-word way of communicating with your partner.
Yeah. It is so far from the challenges that we've done so far. Yes. But that one came out pretty good. The loaf actually tasted, half decent. It wasn't bad.
It was a little dense.
Yeah.
But that was potentially put too much like baking powder and salt.
Yeah.
But it was edible and we finished it.
Yes. Yeah. So for those who are watching right now, I'm going to show the video of us doing this actual challenge. And then for those of you who aren't doing it, I apologize again. You can always go to our YouTube channel and check out our video on how that worked, or check it out on our Instagram. It is on our Instagram as well. So here's the video for the Helpless Baker. All right, we're here doing the Adventures Challenge Couples Edition, and this challenge is called the Helpless Baker. As you can see, I'm blindfolded, and I'm going to attempt to make a cake. Amy here is not allowed to say any more than 3 sentences while helping me. I have to crack the eggs and do the flour and whisk it and all that good stuff to try and get this loaf or cake or whatever it is made. And Amy is only allowed to guide me with her hands. to see what happens. So let's start making a mess. Okay, it's time to see the finished product. Let's see how well I did.
Nice bum.
Well, that doesn't look too bad. Hopefully it tastes as good as it looks. All right, so that is the video for the Helpless Baker. We had a lot of fun doing that challenge. It did make a mess, not a big mess, but I have seen online people make massive messes in doing this.
Yeah. Well, we also have to be careful. We have 2 dogs that love to eat whatever we drop. So
yes, and we had chocolate chips in there, so we had to be careful not to drop those. So yesterday, well, by the time this aired, it's going to be about 3 weeks. By the time we did this challenge, and we probably would have done, we'll have done more challenges by that time anyway. But we did one called Headlights Camera Action. Now, the issue that I'm having now is because I'm tagging the adventure challenge in the posts that I'm doing, I'm getting all of these videos from the adventure challenge on Facebook or on Instagram, and they tend to be the challenges that we're about to do. So it's like, I know Facebook listens to your conversations, same as Google, same as anybody, you know, any of these social media platforms, just to see what you guys are up to and what you're doing and advertisements and this and that, whatever. Now, this one popped up on my feed and I knew what it was before I scratched it off. So I did not scratch it before we left the house. I knew what we were doing. I didn't let you know what we were doing.
Right.
So Headlights Camera Action. I'm going to show you the scratch off right now, what the rules are of that game. And for those of you that are listening on the audio version, the Headlights Camera Action was basically to go out after dark. You would take your car and you'd go to a remote location where where nobody was. You turn on your headlights, and what you would do, right? And that's what you're thinking. Okay, why am I going to a remote location? But of course, this is all in good fun. This is not a thing for that. But
listen, I chalk it up to all the murder and serial killer documentaries we watch.
Of course. But what you do is you turn your headlights on, you turn your radio on. With the windows down, doors open, and you blare the radio as loud as you can. I guess that's why they want it at a remote location, so you don't disturb anybody. And you dance. You dance with your partner. You could do a slow dance. You can do, you know, any kind of fast dancing. You can do whatever kind of dance you want. It's not just one dance. It's not one type of dance that they want you to do. It tells you straight there that there's any type of dance you want to do. So we decided, you know what, let's do this in the daylight because you'll get better film doing that because the light is way better. So let's do it in the daytime. We waited until the evening time, actually, probably just after 6 o'clock. So we went down to the beach, and it was kind of a throwback to how I proposed. And I told you once we got down there, I kept making jokes to you while we were walking. You're like, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? And I was like, well, I'm going to have to get naked and run around on the beach. You're like, no, you're not. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
This isn't the in the bedroom edition,
right? So I just kept making little jokes like that as we were walking. We finally got there, and I set up our tripod and set up the camera, and then we filmed ourselves doing a little dance. And nobody was on the beach at all at that time. It's kind of a secluded beach, anyways. It's not really.
It's not really like a public beach for swimming.
Right.
It happens to be the shoreline of the lake that people have discovered. And some, like, funny enough, a family was coming out when we were going down. But once we got down there, we were literally the only ones. The funny part was there was a sailboat out on the lake, and I was like, I wonder if they think we're totally crazy right now.
But you know what? This age of like social media, you see people filming stuff all the time. And it doesn't matter. Like you'll, even in a school setting, you see them in the hallways filming dance moves just to post on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. So it's pretty common now to see people doing stuff like this anyways, because they want to post their lives on social media.
Awkward.
Yeah. So we did our slow dance, and we did it to our wedding closing song.
Yep.
So we did that. So I am going to play that for you right now. For those who are watching the video, I'm going to put that in right now. So here it is. Right, we're here to do the Adventure Challenge Couples Edition. This one's called Headlights, Camera, Action. We decided to do it more in the daylight because we can see better, and we don't really have anywhere in our neighborhood that we can really go to in the dark and park our car to actually shine the lights on it. So we're gonna do this challenge now.
Nighttime sharpens, heightens each sensation. Darkness stirs and wakes imagination. Silently the senses abandon their defenses. Softly, gently, night unfurls its splendor. Grasp it, sense it, tremulous and tender. Turn your face away from the garish light of day. Turn your thoughts away from cold unfeeling light, and listen to the music of the night. Let your mind start a journey through a strange new world. Leave all thoughts.
And for those who are listening on audio, we did Music of the Night by David Cook. It was the Phantom of the Opera cover. That was our closing song at our wedding. So we did that dance on the beach. We filmed it, and it is up on our YouTube channel. So you can go and check it out on our YouTube channel as well if you want to. All in all, so far, the challenges have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
They're
a little like, I wouldn't consider you to be one to do these like romantic or cheesy kind of gestures typically. So you've been a really good sport about some of them that I thought maybe you were going to be like, oh my gosh, this is so stupid. I don't want to do these. You've actually been a really good sport about wanting to do them.
We've only gotten through 4.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more to go.
So don't make your judgment yet.
But 4, that's pretty good. Like,
yeah,
we're 100% right now.
We are. But I don't know what else is coming up. I mean, there's ones in there that are called like Ask Your Parents, and it has a car. I feel like that means we have to drive to our parents' house to ask them questions. And I don't think we're going to do that because our parents live too far away.
Yeah.
So there's going to be challenges
that we're FaceTime.
Right. There's going to be challenges where we're not going to be able to complete just based on location or, things like that. And there's going to be ones where it's like a dinner date where you're going out to dinner with each other, and maybe you're only allowed to say 2 words to each other the whole time, and the rest is like look in each other's eyes or something like that. For that kind of thing, I will be like, no, I'm not doing that. That's not me. I'm not that kind of person.
No, so, you're not.
For the challenges that we've done so far, they've been pretty fun. We've gotten through them. So I kind of do recommend this as of right now. What are your thoughts?
Listen, it was meant to be just a fun thing for us to kind of do together when, we were feeling bored or, there's nothing on TV. It's summer here and it's, beautiful weather. So I just thought, and especially even when we get into the winter and, you don't want to go outside because it's -20, but it's been fun. I think it was just a great way for us to, find some new things to do. for us to kind of get a little creative with each other without, it costing a small fortune. And yeah, so far so good.
Yeah. Yeah. So highly recommend it. And again, it's called the Adventure Challenge. And again, they have all kinds of different ones for couples, for solo, for kids, for family, for in the bedroom if you're looking to spice things up a little bit. So again, this is not an ad for the Adventure Challenge. This is something that we just thought, hey, we're going to have a little bit of fun with, and let's talk about it on the show and maybe get people to know about it. But hey, you know what? If the Adventure Challenge wants to reach out and throw some advertisements in there, that's pretty cool. But anyway, we did enjoy the first 4 that we've done so far. Maybe we'll do an episode down the road after we complete the book.
That'd be cool.
Just to go on about what our favorite challenges were and what the finale was kind of. Hopefully we didn't spoil this for anybody. Again, it was only 4 of them, so we didn't, get into too many of them to spoil it. But hopefully you guys enjoyed listening to this episode. Thank you very much again to Mrs. Awesome for joining us on today's show. I'm Director Awesome. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at PodJerky. You can also find all of our links on Linktree. That's linktr.ee/PodJerky, as well as our bite size. That's bytesize.me/PodJerky. As always, stay safe, be kind to each other, and we will see you later.
Here we go now. PodJerky.